Hey everybody, hope you're having a great summer. Brian Brosdahl here with a fishing report. Well, fishing is picking up. It hasn't been really hot lately. We've had some real heavy heat. Water temperatures on Winnie and surrounding lakes are in that high 70s, 78 degrees. We might even hit 80 this year if this heat keeps up. We've been in the 80s during the day, and the walleyes are starting to need to eat, so they're feeding more. We get some heavy winds, and there's a lot of algae on the bottom, so bobbers are really good. Key depths have been 17 to 23 feet of water. There are a few places we're seeing walleyes as shallow as 6 feet during the day, and they're feeding heavily. One thing in those areas, the water and the bottom is covered with algae, so we're using bobbers. So light bite slip bobber from Northland, and colors are really making a big difference. Parrot has been a really hot color, and the water in some spots is really clear, but it's a little murky in other spots. So I've been trying different colors, and the nice thing is when you're guiding, you could have a bunch of colors out there. Black has still been hot. It's silhouettes against the sun and the surface. And then sometimes I'm going with a really long leader. Like you can see here, I've got a 3-foot leader. And if you're fishing, you'll notice if you do have electronics. I have a Humminbird with Mega Live. I could see the fish. I have side imaging, but they're off the bottom. They're a lot of times 2-3 feet off the bottom and 10 feet of water. So you know what that means. You're only fishing, you want to fish above them a little bit, a foot above them. So about 5 feet below your bobber, 6 feet below your bobber. If you're jigging, and jigging is really starting to pick up. I love that. I love using eye candy plastics, and really doing well on tungsten long shank jigs, these Northland jigs. Just put a little eye candy paddle tail on there or minnow and jig it, and you will get bit. Watermelon. You haven't heard me talk about watermelon. Watermelon has been hot, or just started getting hot, and that's working really well. Double pop it. Don't move it too fast. If they have to work too hard for the food, they're not. They're going to just turn around and leave. I've noticed the walleyes are full of food, and they're starting to use it up. And they got layers of fat. They're really, really healthy fish this year. And the mid-summer, it's not dog days. It's the hot days are coming. The hot days and the hot bite during the hot time of year. Walleyes are starting to school up again, coming out of the basin. Humps on most of your lakes that are near muddy basins are really good. They're starting to feed on crayfish. The good news is plastics, crankbaits, if you like to crank, work really well, and spinners. So if you're going to use butterfly blades from Northland, chunky crawler is going to work really well. Spinners are a big deal. Underspins, you know, any underspin like the Deep V underspin with a paddle tail or half a crawler. You put a chunk on, and crawlers are working on the bobbers. Leeches are working on the bobbers. Minnows are starting to be a player. The fish are starting to eat more perch, so minnows are good. You could jig with a minnow. In some areas, you can't touch the bottom, but you can see it on your side imaging. You'll see little darker areas on the bottom. That's algae, and I'm finding some spots that are clean. But as that water temperature gets higher, it's going to kill off the algae if it gets too warm, which is going to clean it up. But the water's dark. The great year for fishing. You can fish any way you want to. They're catching lots of bass right now, crappies, sunfish. Everything's in full swing, and the pike are starting to hit. They're out deeper in the basin. So get out, go fishing, have a fun time, whether you're fishing Whitty, Leech, Cass Lake. The walleyes are starting to bite, so get out there and catch some fish.